So, welcome everybody and good morning. My name is Glenn Reichley. I will be your moderator today. I see everybody is up bright and early, so thank you all very much for coming out. We've got a great day ahead of us. I highly encourage participation. Raise your hand if you have something to add or something to subtract. Hopefully not. Let me know. We'll go from there. This is a team effort here today. We're working together as a group. Everybody's here for a purpose. I'm here for a purpose. We're both here to teach. We're all here to learn. Sparking innovation and creativity. It's not such an easy topic to just sit down and create something on a paper and say that's genius. There's a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of digging deep to what you think will be useful and what not. There's a lot of ingredients that go into make a creation that's worth saying that, hey, this is something that I did. People who are able to step outside the ordinary box of thought are able to create some pretty special things. We sometimes think that poets or musicians or anybody who's achieved a high level of success has been able to do that on a regular basis, but I tell you what, it doesn't come easy. And there's been a lot of people involved with helping these ideas come through. Yes, some people are blessed with a special gift to be able to have a big creativity-minded set. And so that's what we're going to try to work on. Today's about you. Today we're going to try to unleash the potential that is inside each and every one of you. It might come naturally. Some people might have a little more difficult time with it. But again, we're all here to learn. This is something that we're all here to do together. Your participation is highly encouraged. So let's begin with the idea of where do new ideas come from? They can come from a lot of different places. It's a matter of concentration. It's a matter of focus. It's a lot of, again, taking the time to actually sitting down and putting an idea to paper, letting it start from there and get the ball rolling. Once that ball starts rolling, things start to happen on their own. But again, it takes the effort to get started. And that's what we're going to try to do today is learn how to get started. A positive environment is always positive, obviously. A positive environment is crucial. You can't really see yourself creating something worthwhile in an environment that's going to be in a negative state. Negativity creates negativity, positivity creates positivity. That's what we want to try to focus on. And what I love about team sports, it's an analogy of what we're doing today. Team sports, it's a group of people. I played baseball growing up through high school and through college. Part of a Hall of Fame as an individual player at my high school, part of the Hall of Fame at the university. I went to the University of North Florida in Jacksonville as a collective, as a team. Baseball is what I can relate business to and how I can relate ideas to. What a team is to me is that when everybody comes together, we're all individuals coming together to form a group of people. We all have one common goal that we try to reach, and that is to win. Win a game, win a championship, or some people just go out there to play and do the best they can, which is fine as well. But when you get to a competitive level, everybody's out to win. As you know, as I know, that's how the game is played. The point about a team is that everybody pulls together and they pull their weight. It's the same with an idea. You might be doing this by yourself. You might be doing it as a team. But the point is to get the ball rolling, to get that momentum started, whether it be, again, as an individual or with a collective group of people. Once that ball starts rolling, then you can really start to see the momentum start and the ideas start to come a little more freely. Key part of that is how your thinking habits inhibit your effectiveness and how that affects results. I like to see things visually. I would suppose that most people are the same, that you are visual in regards to needing to have an idea. You need to see a physical picture or a physical drawing or something like, oh, okay, I know what it is. It's kind of like when you go out, well, you know Bill Smith. Well, it's like, the name sounds familiar, but if I see a face, I'm sure I'll recognize who that is. It's the same with thinking habits and trying to be effective that way. For today's purposes, I'm going to use an example of a house. I like to see a house built in 6 different steps. Fundamentally, the first part is the base. Without a solid base, the house can't be built. I mean, I'm sure you can have the base, but if it's on shaky ground, you can put everything else and build the most magnificent building, but over time, that base is going to crumble, it's going to fall, and as that base crumbles and falls, so does the house. After you get the base and the foundation built up solidly, you can start working on the frame. You put the structures up, the support beams, whatnot. I know, as an example, we had a house addition built onto our house, and our architect said, "Yeah, this is what it's going to look like." We walked out to the back of to the house, and he said, "Yeah, it's going to look like this. It's going to go over this way. It's going to look like this." I'm like, going, "Okay, yeah, that's kind of difficult to see." We saw the drawings and tried to visual it 3D, and it looked, yeah, okay, but that we'll sign off on that. We'll see how that goes. It wasn't until I left for work I came back. He says, "Glenn, when you get back from work, we're going to have the frame up." I'm like, "Okay, that's perfect." I got back and I was absolutely blown away about how it looked. I'm like, "Wow, this is what it's going to look like." He said, "This is what it's going to look like." So as you build a house, you get the foundation built, you get the frames done, you build your interior walls, the electrical work gets done, the plumbing gets done. But it's like an idea too, is that you can get the main focus of the idea started. Once the frame is up, then the real work comes in and trying to really forge together that idea to make it move forward. You put the roof over on top, and then once the roof is done, the house is complete, and all the little tidying house details, and then you're handed the keys and you're ready to live in it, and that's when the idea is ready to move. So again, thinking habits in regards to effectiveness and how it affects results, it's all part of a process. And again, it's a team process. There can be some problems that happen throughout, but it's how you handle those problems or situations that present themselves that really make a house special. And you can fight through them, you can work together, work collaboratively, work individually. But again, all those come with an idea of how something can be resolved, and we're going to be looking through that this afternoon as well. Overcoming negativity when you're trying to get some ideas out there and other obstacles to an open mind. Yeah, we're going to see how that goes. And again, if you have some ideas, or if you have any questions, or if you have something that you'd like to share that might fit in with what we're talking about, please raise your hand and let me know, and I'll recognize, and we'll go from there. Sometimes, in my opinion, work mirrors our personal lives. Sometimes it's just set in a different room. What we can do is try to look forward, and again, try to do this. An example of what I have, I lived in Budapest. My wife is Hungarian, and I remember one night in the wintertime, we were coming out of the gym, and it was a cold night. We were bundled up, warm from just working out, showering, and having a nice heavy winter coat on. But as we were walking down the street, we felt like we were in this bubble. You could say the creativity bubble, whatever you want, but we were in this bubble that we know we could see through. And as we were walking, we could try to push our way through. It's like, wow, we can see where we want to go. We can see what we want to do. How do we get past that bubble? I mean, it stretches. You can get so close, but all of a sudden you're pushing as hard as you can, and it bounces back at you. How do you get past that? What we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to take those I can't messages and turn them into I can statements. That's something, again, it's a process. It takes time, and if you've had that experience, I'm sure we've all been there once or twice before. We'll try to make sense of that this afternoon. Another section is techniques for generating new ideas and solving problems and making decisions. What I like to do is ask yourself, what is it that you're good at, or you really like to do? And what were the steps that got you to that point where you enjoyed what you do? There's also a process that I like to call storyboarding. It's you can either use film as an example. You can use a song as an example. I like to see this as a 360 chalkboard, meaning that chalkboard is 360 degrees in circumference. You can start anywhere that you would like on that board. But the point is to get the idea on that board. And if you sit down and really think about what direction you want to go in, you start writing the ideas down on this board. And as the board progresses, as your ideas progress, you can start to see different scenarios where this can go one way or it can go another way. And in doing so, the ideas will start to come. The momentum, the momentum will be there. And as you work your way around the room, filling out the details of your idea, and you get around, and all of a sudden, bam, once you stop and take a true inventory of what you put down, the ideas are pretty amazing, and you can work through that. I also like to look at that as a song. You start off with an intro, then you have a verse, then you have a chorus, you have a bridge. The tempo can go higher or lower. You go back to a verse, you have a chorus, and the end of the song. But again, it's a process. And there's techniques for generating these new ideas and these processes, and we're going to go over that this afternoon as well. Once you get those in place, keeping your ideas focused and on target, that is another special area. We can all, me as particularly, I'm great at starting an idea, and then once I get to that point, I'm like, okay, now what do I do? And it slows down a little bit. But again, the point is to keep on going. The purpose of the storyboard is to keep you focused. And again, we'll be talking about that. It's a roadmap for you, more or less. This is going to give you the visual of where you need to be. And it's going to give you a start point, a midway point, and an end point. And again, we're going to look over that this afternoon. So take the points that need the most attention first. It's like anything that takes a priority. As you write these down, as you go through the storyboard, your points are going to be coming fast and furious, and especially if you're in a group, they'll start flying. Sometimes a group setting in an office is kind of stifling, but you can take it outside and work outside in the nice weather and make the ideas flow and be influenced and inspired by your surroundings, if you will. Work on those main points first, and once you get to that point where you can have a concrete idea and move that forward, where you'll be in a good spot. And finally, putting your ideas into action with successful results is what it's all about. Plan the work the plan, as my dad always told me. I'm in my mid-40s now, and to this day, I learned that when I was a young kid, and I still use that phrase today. I've got a 3.5-year-old son who I'm sure if he's heard it once, he's already heard it a million times. All he looks at me like, what are you talking about, Dad? Everything starts with an idea before it builds from there. It's a plan. And once it's out there in the open, once it's completed and you hand it in for feedback, be open for that feedback. We're going to go through some techniques that will allow for that feedback to be hopefully construed in a positive way. Even if not, each phase that we go through is a learning experience. So we're going to try to help fine-tune that idea once we get the feedback, and again, hopefully it'll be all good. And be the leader. Sometimes we follow, sometimes we lead. But when the ideas come, if it's your idea and it's born, again, be open to the suggestions that come in. Again, we're going to have some other ideas and some concepts that we're going to be sharing with you today that will further those ideas and again, open up that window for creativity. And with that, basically, this is going to be a team effort. We're in this together. We're here for the afternoon. I think some of you might be here again tomorrow. We appreciate that. So without further ado, again, my name is Glenn. I'll be the moderator today. We'll get started. And again, if there's any questions, just raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and we'll go from there. But again, let's have a great day, and let's get started.